The white coat ceremony is a traditional event at this university which reflects a symbolic entrance into the educational pathway that will lead, with appropriate effort on your part and of the faculty, to your entry into your chosen healthcare field. Our ceremony has several important components. You will don your white coat as a symbol of professionalism and humanism. You will sign the Professional Integrity Code in recognition of the principles and values that will guide you during your professional development. And you will recite the Professional Integrity Code in front of peers, faculty, family, and friends to acknowledge your willingness to assume the obligations and responsibilities of a medical and healthcare professional.
I am honored to be here today to celebrate with these distinguished students and their families on this very meaningful occasion. Yesterday, we welcomed many of you to the Des Moines University Open House to introduce you to the very special educational environment that DMU offers your loved ones. Today, we welcome students and their families to this rite of passage, in which we stress to our students the unique responsibilities they are accepting as future health care providers. Students, when you don your white coat today, you assume not only the responsibilities, but also the obligations that attend to those who choose to provide care to other human beings. These obligations include to be honorable in all phases of your life, to excel in your academic studies and training, to be compassionate, to be accountable, to collaborate with others as an interprofessional team member, and to support a culture of inclusiveness. By accepting these obligations, you become part of a legacy of thousands of Des Moines University alumni whose contributions to medicine and to medical care have alleviated suffering, saved the lives of countless individuals, and maintained the integrity and high ethical standards of the healthcare professions represented here today. While our institutional roots are 115 years old, our university roots took hold in 1981 when the Board of Trustees recognized the need to train additional members of the healthcare team. Today, we see the wisdom of that decision as students in osteopathic medicine, podiatric medicine, physical therapy, and physician assistant studies sit before us to affirm their commitment to the profession they are entering as student members. It is very appropriate that the collaboration among programs that takes place within our lecture halls and laboratories serve to complement the collaboration that is a hallmark of optimal patient care. In closing, I want to remind you how very fortunate you are to be selected for the privilege of serving your fellow human beings as healthcare providers. Your future is bright. Enjoy your years at Des Moines University and know that we will do everything possible to engage, encourage, and assist you throughout your education. Congratulations to all of you.
You should all be extremely proud to be here, regardless if you are whether one of the students or someone here supporting one of them. Some research that I've conducted in the past aim to determine the factors leading to success, and you may or may not be surprised to learn that support from others was at the top of the list. You can be smart, enthusiastic, and armed with an outstanding undergraduate degree, but I ask you not to forget the importance of support. Naturally, the people celebrating with you today are here to support you, and I know that each of you could give me dozens of examples of why their support to you is so important. But I'm also going to ask that you remember that support in the workplace or in your current situation at school is also a huge determinant of success. It goes without saying that the staff, faculty, and the administration are obviously here to support you, but I encourage you to also rely on each other for the support that will be critical to your success. Later today, you will recite an oath that includes the tenets of honesty, accountability, collaboration, and inclusiveness. If you can remember back just a few weeks ago to orientation, you will remember that Dean Yoho spoke about the importance of honesty upon which all of these other tenets rest, and I completely agree with him. But today, I also want to stress the importance of collaboration and inclusiveness. None of you will be the sole healthcare provider for any of your patients. You must work with, learn from, and respect what each of your fellow professionals is responsible for in the care of your patients. Only then will you be working toward providing the very best health care that you can to your patients. You can only really exemplify this when you practice collaboratively with one another and truly respect one another. If you haven't already begun to get a sense of each other's attributes, I ask that you begin today. Seek out your colleagues from the other programs. Take advantage of the opportunity to continue to learn about the other professions during interprofessional educational opportunities, both on campus and once again during your training in the clinic. You are the chosen ones, but it is important to remember the saying that to whom much is given, much is expected. You will be expected to exemplify excellence in both your work and personal lives, and the significance of today is that your white coat should be the outward sign of the professional tenets that you will be reciting soon. So, congratulations to all of you and to your family and friends on this milestone. We are very proud to have you as members of the Des Moines University family and look forward to our continued journey together. Thank you.
You know, it's always impressive to look out at the Civic Center and just to see this sea of white forming. Nice, nice. Good morning. My comments this morning are intended to reflect a perspective that aligns the white coat ceremony with your signing of the Professional Integrity Code. A little history lesson: the white coat ceremony has been practiced for over 20 years. A gentleman by the name of Dr. Arnold Gold's original purpose was to welcome students into their health professions and emphasize the expectations of compassionate care and scientific proficiency. Compassionate care and scientific proficiency. Sam Huber, an expert in the area of medical professionalism, concluded the justification for the white coat ceremony was based on the goodwill felt by the participants and an assumed connection between the ceremony and encouraging humanistic values. He argued the ceremony was a well-crafted ritual that appropriates meaning to a symbol to help initiate a movement through an exciting yet daunting time. It allows the training institution to establish an agenda for the understanding of the education that is to come and places the student at the beginning of the development of a professional identity. The content and expression of that identity to be greatly influenced by the student's experiences and demonstrated values of the training institution. I think that's worthy of repeating, to be greatly influenced by the students' experiences and demonstrated values of the training institution. Dr. David Stern, an authority in medical professionalism, provides a powerful evidence-based argument that professionalism in medicine is demonstrated through a foundation of clinical knowledge, communication skills, and ethical and legal understanding upon which is built the aspiration to apply the principles of excellence, humanism, accountability, and altruism. So today marks the beginning of a process. An emergency room physician in New York, Dr. Judah Goldberg, based on his experience, concludes that humanism requires neither professional expertise nor special knowledge, only reflective and thoughtful human beings ready to engage one another across multiple dimensions. He suggests putting students in hospital gowns rather than white coats to appreciate humanism. I know that Dean Polk is an emergency medicine physician, so We'll see if this is a common theme for EM docs. So if we sustain Dr. Gold's original intent, accept what the experts are telling us, we can conclude that WCC is not only a symbolic event, but also a lifelong commitment to the component parts of medical professionalism and adhering to our 5 identified institutional values, 4 of which define the constitutions of the Professional Integrity Code and the University Code of Conduct. In other words, we're all in this together. So what do we know? We are armed with guidelines. We have all of this evidence to support the expectations of this event. But in the end, the simplest and clearest description I can offer you about professionalism is we know it when we see it, and we know it when we don't. My son recently received a very moving letter from his wife's oncologist who practices at Mayo Clinic. Laura recently lost her battle to brain cancer. This physician, Laura's physician, is recognized as one of the leading experts in his field. Nathan gave me permission to share this. The final paragraph of Dr. June letter reads, and I quote, "It has simply been my privilege to know Laura and you. You and Laura embody the definition of courage and inspire me and my colleagues to do our utmost to find better treatments for patients afflicted with this horrible disease." End quote. We know it when we see it. Students, there is still great goodness in this world. Do your best to be part of it. Thank you.
Candidum praeterea gravo palio medicum. Let me repeat those words for you for a moment, and they'll become clear at the end. Candidum praeterea grave palio medicum. By now, many of the students have already figured out my propensity and fondness for both Latin and parable, so my words will be brief, but I've taken the liberty of modifying an ancient parable and making it unique to modern times, so as I feel it's appropriate to this occasion. A medical student was standing on his first day of clinical rotations next to the resident and once asked the resident why the white coat was longer for the resident and the attending's coat was longer still. The reply came from the resident, to add weight. The resident continued, "For you see, today I walk into the family room, in the family waiting room, and have to explain to the parents that their son was gone. So in this left pocket is empathy, and I must carry a great deal of it. Later this morning, I was asked to try and decipher a diagnosis that no one else had yet to figure out. The patient was suffering, and it was incumbent upon me to try and find the source and the cause, and to try and find a way to treat it. So I keep knowledge in the right pocket, and I must carry a great deal of it." "The attending has an even heavier cloak," the resident replied, "for he carries what I carry, but also carries the weight of responsibility, both to the patient and to us. And he carries the burden of education and stewardship, as well as the weight of compassion. His pockets are very deep, and his cloak is very heavy. The coat is white because it comes from the Latin candidus, which means white or purity, as it represents candi, or candor, or truth." The resident continued, "Do not fret about the size and weight of your cloak, for it will become heavy and long enough with time. But you will notice that your cloak starts out white, just as ours, because trust, honesty, and integrity must run through every thread and must be part of everything you do as a physician, be you an attending, a resident, or a student." With the College of Osteopathic Medicine class of 2017, please stand. Candidum praeterea grave palio medicum, which translated means don the heavy white coat of the physician.